What's up, guys? M. Jones back in the house again for a in-theater review, and I have a special guest this evening, my lovely, beautiful girlfriend Mason.
Hello.
Who's most recently moved in here. Obviously, you can tell with all the beautiful furnishings. My house is no longer a man palace. It is now a coeducational, beautifully furnished home. We saw the movie tonight called Killing Season, which was just mentioned in the last video, movies I want to see for the month of July. It was actually the first movie I talked about in the last video, which was like 2 days ago. And we're going to talk about it tonight. Killing Season came out, I believe, limited release July 12th, and I think it's going to come out probably nationwide in early August. But we were able to have a special screening of that tonight. And the movie was directed by Mark Steven Johnson, kind of an unknown guy. He's only really directed 5 movies, including this. And his other movies were kind of like an eclectic genre. He did When in Rome, which was I thought awful with Kristen Bell. He did Ghost Rider with like Nicolas Cage. He did Daredevil, I think it was with Ben Affleck. Awful movies. But he did the 1995, or no, when did that come out? I think in 1999 or 2000 or something like that, called Simon Birch, which was really good. That little boy, I think he had cystic fibrosis or something like that. That was a good movie, and he did that. But he hasn't really had much success in Hollywood as a director, and I definitely think this movie might help him a little bit, which will kind of unfold to you tonight. The movie was just basically Robert De Niro and John Travolta. And basically Robert De Niro's kids. That's about all there really was. A very small cast. Robert De Niro played Colonel Benjamin Ford, and John Travolta played Emil Kovacs, something like that. Some Serbian name. And it was basically about the war in Bosnia back in 1992 that extended into 1995. And I guess Emil Kovacs, who's John Travolta, survived a raid by soldiers, American soldiers, and Robert De Niro, I guess, fought against him, and Emil Kovacs never kind of forgot that, and how he survived basically being shot, execution style. So Emil Kovacs found out names of the soldiers that attacked him that day and killed all of his soldiers, all of his Serbian soldiers, and he found Benjamin Ford's name, and he found out his location. And Benjamin Ford, Robert De Niro, was kind of in a secluded area, almost like a hermit, in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And it was very beautiful where he was at. He had a log cabin, very secluded away from everything. And you come to find out that he basically was in seclusion because his best friend, Robert De Niro's best friend, I guess had some kind of affair with his wife, with Robert De Niro's wife, and he just wanted nothing to do with it and stay away from his son and just stay in seclusion. And basically, John Travolta's character comes and tries to find him to try to kill him. So the movie plot was pretty interesting. There's a lot of different things going on, but with such a small cast, it really allowed both Mason and I to really kind of look at character development and not just have so many cast members to try to find out who they are. It was just basically John Travolta and Robert De Niro. I also noticed, before Mason gets into her notes of what we thought of the movie, I noticed that the son of Robert De Niro was Milo Ventimiglia or something like that. I forget how to say his name. He played Chris. I was like, geez, character name's way different than his real name. And we found out that he was in the movie Rocky Balboa as Sly Stallone's son in the movie, and I forgot that. I knew I recognized him. I couldn't pick him out. And then his wife in the movie was Elizabeth Olin, who I've never even heard of, and she had a very small role. I think she had maybe 3 or 4 lines. So I kind of wish they would have put her more into it, because there was nothing about her really, except they had a child together. But I'm going to give it over to Mason. She's going to talk about some of the stuff we both mentioned during the running time going on of the movie. Go ahead, babe.
So I think the first thing that we noticed, right from the beginning, was I felt like Robert De Niro was wearing way too much makeup. Like, it was like orange, and you could see it on screen. And I felt that way when John Travolta came on also. So I didn't really like that too much. The other thing I didn't like was John Travolta's accent. I mean, I know he's not Serbian. Obviously, he doesn't have an accent, but I didn't think it was very good.
He's from New Jersey.
So, I don't know. I mean, maybe it was good, but I didn't think it was good.
At certain times when he would ramble, it got really, like, headache, annoying, nausea-like. It's just like, it's like, John, stop, like, acting Serbian. It's awful.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I liked it. You know, sometimes I did
guess
like...
if he wasn't saying too much,
if it was
okay.
like 5-word sentences here and there, it would have been okay. But he would just ramble
forever,
and it was just so like, I'm gonna take you home, and I go to. It's just like, do you have to sneeze or do you have a cold? It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah. So the movie starts out with John Travolta's character coming to see Ben Ford, which is Robert De Niro's character in America, to like get back at him or whatever. And he somehow finds his house and like in the middle of the woods, and it's of course like thunderstorming. Robert De Niro's car breaks down, and he like helps him out, but then Robert De Niro doesn't want him walking in the rain, so they like, you know, he rides with him, which was, I felt like kind of cliche, like of course it's thunderstorming and like of course his car breaks down.
So cliched. I didn't like that.
Yeah. So
so
that
convenient.
was. But I mean, like, okay, so it did get them together to, like, meet or whatever. And in the beginning, it was interesting because I wasn't really sure what was going to go on. Because John Travolta's character, I can't say his name.
Emil
Kovacs. Was, like, it seemed like he was trying to befriend Ben in the beginning. So that was really interesting. They, like, drink together, eat together.
Drink Jaeger together.
All that good stuff. But then the next day, they decide to go hunting. And that's kind of where the tables turn. They realize that they're kind of like hunting each other, I guess. So the torture scenes I thought were really disgusting. One of them, like, he puts like a rope through like a hole in his calf, I don't know, and like hangs him upside down.
Yeah, John Travolta like...
And that's just one of them. There's like multiple torture scenes. So if you like that stuff, then...
It's kind of like Hostel.
Kind of a good
Hostel style, like, because like Emil, you know, John Travolta takes bow and arrow to Robert De Niro from like about 50 yards away and gets it right through his calf. Like right through his calf, like right there. Like full blown through. And he makes him like put like this I don't know, some kind of...
like a wire.
Some kind of wire with like some kind of like thing to push, and he pulls it like right through his calf and like hangs him up.
And he has to like tie a knot and then they like hang.
And the camera was very like okay with it. The camera guy was like right on it.
I didn't really watch.
And we're like, it's like okay, it's like Hostile. It's like Jesus.
It was kind of gross.
Yeah,
like,
the torture was just
Hostile.
The torture was very like palpable. It was just very like in your face. Just it just got to be like okay, like getting a little queasy here.
Yeah. So it was interesting the whole movie because like each of them had opportunities to kill the other one like multiple occasions, but they like weren't killing each other for whatever reason. So I mean, like that part of it definitely showed like how they were soldiers because they knew how to do stuff that like a normal person wouldn't know how to do, like make a fire and like heal their wounds in the woods and whatever. So that was interesting. And the other thing is this definitely happened like over the course of a couple of days. I think maybe like 2 days or something. Because, you know, it gets dark, light, whatever. And these guys who are like full-blown men, you know, one's Serbian who's like super hairy, they don't grow facial hair. It's like, you don't have to shave? Or did you shave while you were out there being tortured?
Like John Travolta has
that was weird to me.
Travolta has like an Abe Lincoln thing going on, but his face is purely
perfect.
like perfect.
I'm like, did you get like laser hair?
It's like, dude, like
what's going
it's
on?
like, did the army give you money to like get laser surgery? Like,
so that was weird, but
that was a little off.
Yeah, so it goes back and forth, and then like eventually they realize that they both can't kill each other, and they have to like confess and talk about that whole bit. I don't know if you have anything to say about that. I don't really. So overall, I thought the movie was pretty good. It was really short. It was only 120 minutes. So
no, it was like. It was 82 minutes.
82 minutes.
It was an hour and 22 minutes.
Oh, an hour and 22 minutes. Oh, 122 minutes.
It was like
an hour and 22
It was like an hour and 22
really
minutes.
Short.
I was like, it's over, okay.
Yeah, and it's basically like the whole movie is them in the woods with each other. So, I mean, overall, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
A little bit more development would have been nice, I think, in all the cast members.
Yeah. But I liked how it was a short cast, though, because you got to, like, get to know Robert De Niro and all his quips and all his...
that's true. You get to see like where he lives and
Yeah.
like he's very like, even though he's out of the war, he's still very like meticulous. Like he has
very
his
soldier-esque.
day down pat. Like he goes to bed at 8:59, wakes up at 5:59, like every day.
And he wakes up and does calisthenics.
And he like eats the same thing.
Eats the
every
same
day.
stuff, and he listens to Johnny Cash. That's one way, Johnny Cash. He listens to Johnny Cash the whole time. It was just very like, he was so systematic, like most military people are, which I think is correct. I think it's great. It's good discipline. And what I really liked was, we were watching the movie, and I said to her, she said to me, "Is this Yosemite? Is this filmed in like Montana? Is it filmed in like
really
Wyoming?" It seemed like a lot of like you would think it was filmed there. It was filmed in Georgia, and when you think Georgia, you think like old Victorian homes and Savannah and like hot as hell and gnats and like peaches and bulldogs and football. Like you don't think beautiful like mountain areas. I don't think we thought that at all. Like
no, I was thinking
I didn't think Georgia
like
was like that.
Out west.
Yeah, it was filmed mostly in Stone Mountain, Georgia. So I mean, it was beautiful. I had no idea that was Georgia. I looked that up on filming locations. I had no clue.
Yeah.
And another thing I found out was that the movie was originally supposed to be Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, which would kind of be like another movie from like the Face Off. Face Off back in like 97, 98 was with Travolta and Cage. This was supposed to be Cage and Travolta again, but something happened and DeNiro replaced them. And the movie was supposed to be set in the 70s, which would have made no sense with the Bosnian War of 92 to 95. So, a lot of things were changed there. I don't know how that's going to affect the movie, but, I think we both said that we, really liked it. We thought it was,
What score would you give it?
A score, you know what? I always do 1 to 5. I'll give this movie a solid 3. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. What would you give it?
I was thinking 2.5.
2.5?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you why I think 3, and why you have half a point lower than me. I think 3 out of 5. Honestly, I liked Robert De Niro. I liked him a lot. But there was parts that, obviously the last like 5-6 minutes we've been talking here, we had a lot of things we didn't like bad makeup, obvious makeup, we should say. Travolta got annoying. Just the fact that her facial hair didn't grow at all after all these days, and they just seemed to like, get by with certain things, all the injuries they had, they'd be so beat up. And the part that I really didn't like is they both were in a car accident at one point.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, they're both in a car accident at one point, and they're flipping over down
It's
this
like
huge hill.
cliff.
This
It's
huge
like a
cliff.
It's not a hill.
And they both like get out of the car and they're like, "All right, we're still gonna fight." It's like, this isn't a cartoon, guys. This is really this is real life. I was just like, okay, it's some of the stuff I just didn't buy. But was I entertained? Yes. That's why I give it a 3 out of 5, which to me is a solid like B-. It's a solid B- in my mind. Anything else, babe? You want to add with your 2.5?
I only gave it a 2.5 because I thought it was like 50% a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there was just so many unrealistic parts, but it
Yeah.
was like good for me because it was like fast.
And it kept our attention.
Whatever.
Yeah, the movie's an hour.
I wasn't bored at all.
The movie was an hour and 21 minutes. Like I can watch another movie if I wanted to now. I don't have to like treat it like Gettysburg, which takes 9 years to finish. It was just like it was what it was. Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 16%. I don't know if that's really fair. I would say that movie's a solid 35-40%, which still sucks, but it's not 16, which is really bad. But I would probably give this movie, a 3 out of 5 stars. My favorite character was Robert De Niro because I thought there was more to him. I thought he had a lot of good lines in the movie, and I definitely know he carried that script because I'm sure it was kind of shittier than it would have been if there wasn't De Niro. I think John Travolta just, I think his time has passed. I think Travolta as an actor, he was pretty good from Paris with Love. And I thought that was pretty decent. But I loved Travolta back in the 90s with Broken Arrow and Face Off and Phenomenon, Michael. Those are all really good movies. Look Who's Talking back in the 80s, loved that. But I'm not really crazy about him anymore. But De Niro never fails. Always really good. Who was your favorite character, babe?
De Niro.
De Niro? Yeah.
Same thing.
Same reason?
Yeah, I just liked him better.
Yeah.
Because he didn't he only tried to kill John Travolta's character because he had to. But I feel like he was like a better guy. He was like the bad guy in the movie. So.
Yeah. So, like I said, we give the movie a 3. Basically, I would say like 2.5 to 3 out of 5 stars. It's a fun movie. It's nothing to take too serious. I think you'll enjoy it. But if you want accuracy on how things go down, not your movie. But until we talk to you guys again, you take it easy and bye.
Bye.